And we're down to 4. The NBA Conference Finals kicks off tomorrow night, and no matter what happens, who wins, how it happens, history will be made because 3 of these franchises have yet to win the NBA Finals. The fourth, well, the Knicks have it in over 50 years, so history will be made again no matter what happens here in a few weeks. But today is simple. We're going to be breaking down these 2 matchups, giving you guys my predictions, and of course, as always, drop your comments and predictions down below. I get back to every single one. Now, if I have the gall to give you guys my predictions and kind of tell you I know what I'm talking about, well, I got to back it up and show accountability. So here is the playoff recap to this point. We're 11-5 as far as who advances and who goes home. Of course, in the first round, the LA teams kind of screwed me. And in the second round, the East entirely screwed me. So a bit of a different matchup than I was expecting. Let's just say that. Let's kick it off here in the Eastern Conference as the New York Knicks will be hosting the Indiana Pacers, and they are age-old rivals. This will be the 4th time that these teams have met at this stage, which is the conference finals. And for those that are counting, it's the first time since 2000, and the Pacers, you've won the last 2 due to Reggie Miller. So you have at least that going into this series. There will be some animosity in this series because last year these teams met in the second round. And though there were some injuries, the Pacers took care of business and they won that series, sending New York home. So, again, a little bit of animosity that we've already seen in the regular season this year. It should carry on because these matchups are only going to get more intense and more high staked as this season comes to an end. But when we look at these teams on paper, they have 2 very experienced head coaches. We have Rick Carlisle on one side, who's an NBA champion, and Tom Thibodeau, who has yet to be an NBA champion, but he's been a great playoff coach. Let's just say that in his NBA coaching career. But they have the defense, they have the depth, though the Knicks don't like to use their depth as much as Indiana because Indiana likes to go 10, 11 deep, and they have the star point guard. So those are some things immediately that pop out to us on paper watching this matchup. Now, the other things to watch, pace of play, man. If the Knicks can control the pace of play, they're going to win this series. If the Pacers can do the same thing, they will win this series. And as crazy as it sounds, the Pacers will be going to the NBA Finals. But right now, the Knicks are very half-court, slower offense, really relying on Jalen Brunson to make the right play. On the flip side, the Pacers don't rely on Tyrese as much as the Knicks do Brunson. But this offense, if they can get up and down, running in transition, getting open looks in transition, this is one of the craziest offenses in NBA history. And I don't say that lightly because this year in the playoffs, Indiana currently has the highest effective field goal percentage of any team in NBA history to this point with a 58% mark, right? So 58% of their shots go in. That includes all of their, again, field goal attempts and free throw attempts in this entire postseason. No team has had higher than 58%. So the Pacers are playing historically right now, and my Cavaliers, unfortunately, had to find that out on the way to this point. These teams both have very passionate crowds. They are 2 crowd and fan bases that are hungry to get back to the top dance, which is the NBA Finals. So expect a lot of rowdiness in these crowds, man. A lot of energy, which is going to make for the very exciting series and TV in general. But ultimately, when I look at these teams, it came down to this, and this might not be the best metric or reasoning to use when we're talking about the playoffs. But when I look at these star players, right? I think that the New York Knicks can win a game in this series if Jalen Brunson has an off night, or if he has 2 off nights. I think I trust the Knicks more than if that were to happen for the Indiana Pacers, where if Tyrese has a bad night, then it really puts a lot of pressure on Pascal Siakam, who, by the way, is going to have very good defenders on him this entire series. So if I'm the Knicks, I think I trust the core of OG, McCall, and Cat over Nesmith, right, Pascal, and Miles Turner if our star point guards have off nights. So again, it might not be the best reasoning. I understand a lot of factors go into the Pacers actually having the edge in a lot of things in this series, and they're playing historic basketball at the moment. But honestly, as much as I would love to see a team go to the finals for the very first time, or at least try and win it for the first time, I'm going to go with the Knicks in 7. I think in a 7-game series, game 7 specifically, with Madison Square Garden behind you, I'm going to trust the clutchest player in the league this year and the better supporting cast, at least as far as star talent. with the New York Knicks. So I'm going to go with the Knicks. Now in the Western Conference, it's an equally as exciting matchup because you have two great superstar level guards going head to head. But hey, the season series between these teams will split down the middle 2-2. Both teams won a game on the road and at home. And that's impressive as far as the road team in this series, the Timberwolves, because the Thunder only lost 14 games all regular season, and two of them came against the Minnesota Timberwolves. So, very interesting matchup in that regard. But when you look at these teams, they're just complete, right? They have the superstar player, a good head coaching staff, and an overall well-constructed core around their star player. Of course, I think the depth goes to the Oklahoma City Thunder, but the experience goes to the Minnesota Timberwolves because I think they have a couple more players with more experience than the overall group of the Thunder, though the Thunder have Alex Caruso. The X factors in this series are simple. Who wins the turnover battle each and every game, man? Because for the Timberwolves, though they won pretty handily against the Warriors, they turned over the ball a lot, especially at the tail end of that series. And the Thunder, as we saw against the Nuggets, they were down like, what, 15 points? The Nuggets started getting a little lackadaisical, turning the ball over. And just like that, the Nuggets were down by like 20 in a matter of a quarter. It was like, what, a 47-point turnaround at one point for the Thunder. That's how much turnovers matter. And for a young team like the Thunder, with their defensive mindset, if they can get these turnovers, it's only going to build confidence and momentum for them to just completely take this lesser talented Timberwolves team out of this series. But again, if the Thunder win the turnover battle, they win this series. If the Timberwolves win the turnover battle, they win this series. That is what I'll say to start. Now, outside of that, if I had to pick one player in this series that I think is the X factor, it's Julius Randle. And Julius Randle going against Chet Holmgren, who's a slimmer big, less physical as Julius Randle, right? And of course, Isaiah Hartenstein, who is physical, but I think Julius Randle is ultimately just a way better player in talent offensively, where he can dominate both Chet and Isaiah Hartenstein down low. Now, hey, if they want to throw Caruso on him, I still like the chances of Julius Randle to get to his spots and to go to work. But for this series, if Julius Randle comes out and he's flat and he's plateau and he's shooting 3 of 14 like we've seen in previous playoff series, this is going to be a quick series. This is going to be a series where the Thunder can throw Caruso, they could throw Shea, J-Dub, they could throw Lu Dort, all on Anthony Edwards and tire him out by the fourth quarter every single game, if not just completely double team Ant and force the supporting cast of Minnesota to beat them in this series. So Julius Randle's going to have to step up big. He's going to have to give him a 20 and 10 a night and just overall dominate the paint. If he can, I like Minnesota's chances in this series. The storylines in this matchup, of course, two of the youngest teams in the league as far as their star players. You have the star matchup of Shea versus Ant, in my opinion, two top 10 players in the league. And Shea as a side storyline, which this will only be brought up in game one. Shea's playing his cousin, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, comes off the bench from Minnesota. It's just a cool storyline that I think doesn't happen every single year, right? So these teams, young teams, looking to prove themselves, looking to capture their first NBA title, but who can make it to the big dance? This series ultimately comes down between the heart and the mind. My heart wants the Minnesota Timberwolves to win, man. I'm a big Anthony Edwards fan. I want to see him on the biggest stage, take down the Knicks to give us a very exciting finals. But my mind, it tells me that this deeper team of Oklahoma City can survive without Shea having a tremendous game. Minnesota, I don't know if they're going to be able to survive without Anthony Edwards giving them 25 a night. So for that reason, I'm going to give the Timberwolves a fighter's chance, but the Thunder come away in 6. So despite the thumbnail, despite my heart telling me one thing, my mind tells me another. And so my prediction is that we're going to have the Thunder and the New York Knicks in the NBA Finals. Two teams that are so deep defensively. They have the star guards and two head coaches that are looking to capture their first NBA title. That is going to be an exciting one, man. And hey, if you like the colors orange and blue, I'm a Gators fan, but if you like orange and blue, that's going to be a series for you there in the NBA Finals. But of course, let me know your predictions down in the comments. I'll get back to every single comment, and I'll see you guys soon.